I don't know at the moment.
There we go. I unmuted myself as I just had it muted for some reason. Hello, everybody. Yes, hello, welcome. We are hopefully coming live. Hopefully, it's working. Hopefully, you can hear us. Bear with us as it's first time doing this on YouTube. So,
Yeah, I just heard you coming through on YouTube, so I think it's good. Um,
Ah,
brilliant. That's what I like to hear. Smashing. So, we're going to go off. Let's get started. Welcome. This is the Jump Crouch Podcast, formerly of Button Bash Bunch. There might be people who remember the Button Bash Bunch. We did that. I think we had around about 60 episodes or something like that, and then we've had near enough a year off from doing it. And we've decided, right, let's come back, let's reboot ourselves, and we're taking the main name of JumpCrouch. So we're going to have a nice little chat today, get to know each other again, and go from there. So I'm your host, Matt or Golding, whichever one you want to call me. You know, easy peasy. Also joined here today by Pete.
that is my name.
That is his
Which
name.
is not.
Also known as Winsol. Depends, call him what you want. We call him the Angry Scotchman, so it's all right.
Don't state me.
We don't, but okay. Also joined by Abby,
AKA Starbuck.
aka Scott. There you go. Yeah, you did. I didn't even have to repeat that. Brilliant. Abby is our main contributor of Jump Crouch and pretty much the owner. Anything that you'll see on the website, that's a lie, on the channel is predominantly Abby playing all of her games and us just poaching off of it because she knows what she's doing and we don't. So we just go from there.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but I'll take it.
You know a lot better than what we do. And then finally, we are joined by Jacob.
Hello.
Hello, Jacob's coming to us from a distant land.
Distant land. It's a distant island, so
Yeah, that's very true. Yes, we don't want him anywhere near us, so we've had to sort of abandon him somewhere just in case he scares anyone.
Aw.
That's all right, mate. That's all right. Jacob, so
I will also be manning the chat as well.
thank you very
So-
much. Thank you very much. So it's a new way of working for us. So I'll just let you take. So that's Jacob, aka Stinger. You can find us on various things when we play, mainly PC and Xbox. I don't think anybody touches much of PlayStation. I think Abby might do.
I do.
There
yeah.
you go. I don't have a PlayStation anymore. So Pete might have a PlayStation. I don't know.
No,
No,
not yet.
no, not yet. Not yet.
I'm planning to get one this year, but no, not yet.
Oh, there you go. So Pete's planning on getting a PlayStation. so we're one step ahead there for it. Oh, brilliant. I like it.
Well, at least you can get one now instead of all the scalpers taking them.
This is very true.
Yeah, that is very true because that was a piss take. Yes. Oh, look, goody. Let's buy a PlayStation. Oh, actually, you can't. Somebody else is selling it for £800. Oh, goody. Thank you for that. Didn't help at all, did it? Buggers.
Yep.
So, bit of a new format for us now. So we've never done this live before. We've decided let's go live instead of let's try and record it and then let's try and sort it out and then get it out there. No, let's just go raw. Let's go live. So it's a bit of a new, fresh start for us and seeing how we get on and go. So hopefully you all enjoy it. There is a chat function. If you want to ask questions, if you want to talk to us, please feel free and go ahead. Abby is manning the chat for us. So, we'll answer anything. Or if you want to start some sort of conversation, get us wanting to talk about any pieces, go ahead for it and get our views and things like that. So it's a brilliant start. So what we're going to move straight on to is any news. So for us, any news is sent to what's happened in the past year, but we're not going to be that weird and go through everything just because we
Where
haven't
to
been.
start?
Exactly. Just because we haven't been started, but haven't been live for a year, So we're just going to pretty much sort of fast forward to the now, and we're going to have a look at just a few little pieces. So anybody want to jump in with their first piece of news first? Pete?
Can I talk about the
Oh, yeah.
Embracer Group?
Yep, go on, go for it.
So going back, sort of middle of last year, they had a deal that fell through, which was quite costly for them. And in the space of 6 months, they closed 3 studios. The more recent one was in December, 2 weeks before Christmas, and this one, it made me upset because it was Free Radical Design, and they hadn't even got a game out yet, but they were working on a new Time Splitters game, and because the deal fell through, the studio that was one of the cuts that got made, and I just saw it, and you could see it. There was mumbling in the background. I just thought, oh no, please don't let it be true. And yeah, there's another studio gone, and Time Splitters is long overdue a new game, and to hear that it's been cancelled, it's just it upset me big time.
Time Splitters. Well, when was that first come out?
What was it? A PlayStation 1 game or 2?
PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2. Jesus, so that was.
I don't know if it was a launch PlayStation 2 game, but if not, it was very close.
Yeah, PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox apparently.
Wow. I'm just trying to think. When was that then? That must have been like 2002-ish, 2000
apparently.
Wow. I was still in school. I was taking my SATs, I think, then.
I think I had just started secondary school, or maybe like into the second year.
Okay, so we'll move on quickly before I do.
Just got to show my age here.
If you just started secondary, I was still in primary school, but
Yeah, you were still in nappies, mate. Yeah, you were.
no.
Wow.
Well, he was a bit slow developmentally.
What?
Wow. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Just so people do know, Abby and Jacob are brother and sister. So if it does get a little bit personal, it's okay.
Yeah.
Just for things. Where Pete, he was already had a job at that time, so you know.
No.
No. Oh, all
I'm
right.
pretty sure I was in second year as well.
Hold on, and I hear something. Kieran sort of looked like he said that he wasn't born at that time.
What, in 2000?
I think you were, Kieran, you cheeky bugger.
Wow.
I was gonna say, don't start because that will make me feel old. That
Well, the
will.
people born in 2000 would be 24 now.
No, stop.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. They're like 7.
No, that sounds better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Let's
It's like me. I'm still 21. I've never moved. So yeah. Okay, Jay. Nice one. I've got a little bit that I've just that I read earlier on as well. That Epic Game Store's leaking that subscriptions are on the way.
Okay.
On Epic
I
Game
hadn't
Store.
heard.
So that's going to be fun because I like Epic Game Store. You know, 'cause especially when it comes to Christmas, you get a nice release, don't you, of a decent game actually. Especially this Christmas, I think they had some good ones out, didn't they? So it's just here. So recent leaks indicates that Epic Game Store may be preparing to announce subscription services on the platform. So I don't know what I think of that, if I'm honest.
It begs the question, are we moving away from owning games and it becoming more like, was it Netflix and you just, or was it Game Pass where you just subscribe and you have access to all the games?
I have a relevant point about that, which is another small story as well, where Ubisoft basically released a statement basically saying that people need to be comfortable about the prospect of never actually owning their games as things are moving more towards a subscription model.
I must admit, I do quite like that because for me, like the Game Pass, that's the only reason I bought an Xbox
No,
X.
this is like if you buy a game.
Right. Okay.
So if you buy something through like the Ubisoft store,
Yeah.
they're trying to say that, you know, get used to the fact that they could take that away.
Oh.
The same like Steam do, but people trust Valve because they're a good company, but who trusts Ubisoft?
I was going to say, and that's quite sucky actually, because if you pay all that money and then all of a sudden they take it away, I wouldn't be happy, put it that way.
Yeah, like subscription models I've got no problem with at all because you don't own the game anyway. You're essentially renting it.
Yeah,
aren't
exactly.
you?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, to me, like Game Pass works really, really well. You know, it's a brilliant service. But if they're gonna charge you for a game, you know, and then all of a sudden one day be like, oh, we're taking that off of you, I'm a bit like, no, you can stick the whole fucking service up your arse then if you're gonna be like that.
Yeah.
To be honest.
So he's trying to sort of justify it by saying, as gamers grow comfortable in that aspect, you don't lose your progress. If you resume your game at another time, your progress file is still there. That's not been deleted. You don't lose what you've built in the game or your engagement with the game. So it's about feeling comfortable with not owning your game. But yeah, that got quite a negative response.
Well, I'm not surprised.
I think it's mostly because it came from Ubisoft, to be honest.
Yeah, and nobody trusts them.
Yeah.
It's like Blizzard, aren't they? They're full of wankers.
We've got a long way to go to rebuild some form of trust.
Just a bit. God. Pete, anything from you?
I'd just be like very, very careful on just switching to a subscription service for games. Sven, the owner of Larian Studios, brought up this point. Basically, that it'd be very easy for the type of games that we play to be completely changed by a subscription service. Basically, it's insinuating that, because if you look at Netflix, like, how many shows do you start watching on Netflix and then they cancel because after the second season it's like, oh, we didn't get a vote for that, so it's dead. That could very easily happen to games. I mean, it's already a pain in games. Like, how many fucking games as a service is there? Imagine that going into overdrive for something like a subscription service. It would change what games get funded and what don't. It's very hard as it is now to get a passion project made as a game. Imagine a subscription service, like, a subscription service, you want people to keep coming back. Like, when you're buying a game, then obviously most of the time they just want you to hit you once. Games as a service, obviously they want you to keep coming back, but they still want that initial hit of that money. After the subscription service becomes the default way you make a game, that's always going to be getting you back every month. They need you to re-up that sub, so games will become about that.
See, to me, I think some games in a general should be a subscription service. Now, might sound wrong in saying it, but things like FIFA or whatever it is now, FC 24 or some crap like that, I don't understand why that type of game isn't just a subscription service in itself. And then when it has a major update, it majorly updates the game.
Yeah, because it's a lot with the sports games in general, because they'll use the same engine for, let's say, 3-4 years, and the main difference between each game is maybe different players at different teams or different kit. So can you really justify releasing a brand new game each year? Whereas, you know, let's say you release one this year, then the next 3 years is just expansions until you do the next big major upgrade for it.
Exactly, and that's I mean, that's why I've never liked. Let's tell a lie. I used to like things like FIFA, and then when you got a bit old, you're thinking you're paying for exactly the same game every year, just updated.
Yeah, I did the same with the F1 games. There was a couple of times I bought each year, but then you look at the next year's game and just like, well, it's not that different to this year's one, apart from maybe a new track and new cars. It's not enough to justify spending 40-50 quid on it. So might skip a couple of years, and the next one is like quite a big upgrade. Is like, okay, I'll get back into that one, but I don't feel the need to get a new sports game each year if there isn't a substantial difference.
No, exactly, and that was it. I think with things like F1, when they changed developers in a sense of it, it slightly changed the game, didn't it? On who made it, and that was the only real difference. But you're right. You've got, I mean, you know, you've got Madden football, you've got NHL, you've got is it NBA and that as well, and then football. Sorry,
2K.
That's it. Yeah, there you go. That's it. Yeah, 2K.
Yeah.
You know that they're all work exactly the same way. So in my eyes, I don't understand why things like they aren't an actual physical subscription service in a general sense instead.
You could give them sort of like season passes. So, because that's one of the concerns I've got with a game EA put out last year is that they got the rights for the World Rally Championship, and now it's developed. It's made and developed by Codemasters. So they did a Dirt Rally series, and they didn't release a game every year. They did Dirt Rally. I can't remember what year it was. Then there was like a 3-4 year gap until the second one that came out, and now that EA have got the rights to the World Rally Championships, I don't want to. I can see it, then maybe do a game each year, but I don't really want them to because I don't think there's going to be enough for them to justify releasing a new game each year.
Funny enough, just seen Toaster. eFootball is almost like a live service game now. Same game gets updated every year, and when the new season starts, and it's free to play. So that's on its way. I mean, did that? I can't remember. Did eFootball take over PES?
Yeah.
It is. Oh, there you go. That's right. I thought I was gonna talk completely out of my arse then, but thankfully I'm not. So that
Not this time.
No, not this time. Woohoo! What do you mean not this time? Here we go. That is not a norm, by the way. I don't always talk out my arse. Just sometimes, apparently.
No comment.
No comment. Bollocks for a lot of you. Here we go. It's already started. But so eFootball's taken over PES, and that's, I suppose then that's working. Especially it's a free service. I do like that. But at the end of the day, I do understand then if people do that, but don't have a free service for it. So, but that's by the by in that one, isn't it? In all sense. So subscriptions looks like it can be a big thing of the future. So we'll see how it goes.
Subscription soup. That's something I'd say up to.
He's taking the piss now, isn't he?
No, I want a subscription to soup. Do you not?
No.
Why not? Soup.
It's the future.
I like to eat my food, not drink it.
But soup can come in so many different flavours.
You eat soup?
No, I don't actually. I don't have soup. No.
We're going off.
I say if you eat soup, like I don't know about any like madmen like you who don't like soup. A hot delicious broth, terrible.
No. I like to chew my food.
Okay, chunky soup.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Stick some croutons in it.
Oh, I know, but then it just looks like sick.
What soup are you eating?
But if you get chunky soup, it looks like sick in a bowl.
What?
Lovely.
It's not soup you're having.
Well, what am I eating then?
Don't know.
Apparently.
Yeah.
That's tomato soup. Yeah, that looks like sick to me. If your sick looks at tomato soup, doctor, pronto.
He does have a point.
Well, yeah, I get that. I say chunky soup though. Tomato soup isn't chunky soup. Tomato soup is tomato soup. Chunky soup is sick.
Well, you could get a chunky tomato soup.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never seen a chunky tomato soup.
Just get big chunks of tomato in it.
That must be a thing up north, not down south.
I'm kind of culture swirling.
Let's move on. I have a feeling I will get a can sent to my house one day. Anyway, yes, yeah. Move on.
In a minute.
Move on. So I've just read something. January 25th will be a sad day for Rock Band 4 fans.
Ah, yes, I've seen that.
Yes. Doesn't look good. So January 5th, last day that Harmonix release new DLC songs for Rock Band 4. So there we go. So it's pretty much by the looks of it going to be stopping then in a sense. Oh no!
Didn't know it was still going.
No, to be honest, neither did I. I did find it quite sad when Guitar Hero closed their servers. So then there was no more live service for that. It was literally just what was on the game. Because I loved that, it was brilliant. But now all of a sudden, it's stopped. I've got Johnny sort of going, how do you feel about, was it
Gazpacho.
Gazpacho?
It's cold soup.
Is
I
it
think,
cold
isn't
soup?
it? Yeah.
Cold soup?
Ah.
That's even worse, isn't it? My God. Isn't that like borscht? Isn't borscht like a cold beet soup?
Borscht.
Borscht. I might not
I've
be
no
saying
idea.
it right. I might not be saying it right. Famous last words. Right, well, carry on. Yeah, so Rock Band 4 looks like then they're going to be releasing their last DLC update, and then that will be it. Whatever happened to all of the rock bands? They were such a popular thing. Why have they just stopped?
It,
Because they kept releasing DLC for it.
yeah.
They didn't need to release another one.
You ask a stupid question, you get a stupid answer, I suppose. I got it.
But I looked when they released Rock Band 4, and it was back in 2015. And
Was that the 360
was-
then, or was that? No, that was
no, it's the
Xbox
Xbox
One.
One. It would have been the early games, because you had Rock Band, there was Guitar Hero, and then wasn't there a DJ one as well or something?
DJ
Oh,
Hero, yeah, I remember that.
That was really good.
That was difficult. I couldn't do with the turning and the pressing of the fingers. That makes me sound really bad.
That does, yeah. I was
Yeah.
just going to leave it there.
Yeah. Okay, we're taking a turn. But no, yeah, there were so many good ones like that. Yeah, because didn't they do? Was it Rocksmith as well? Where actually like pretty much a real guitar.
Yeah, that was Ubisoft game, Rocksmith.
I see. See that? I mean, I never played that one. To be honest, but it does. Just Rock Band. You know, I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, do they actually work in the new Xboxes? Can you plug them into there? Is it compatible? I don't know actually.
No idea.
I'd imagine if it depends how to plug in. If they're USB, then I don't see why not. It'll be was it the current generation with the Series X's or the PS5s? Whatever. I don't know if they'll recognise the devices or not. Who knows?
No, I mean, I have no clue. Absolutely no clue. Right, so PS Plus losing some more games in February, apparently. What we got? So Ace Combat 7, Hue, I Am Setsuna, Lost Sphere, Lost Words, was it Oninaki? Oninaki? I don't know, I can't pronounce that. Resident Evil 7.
Oh, going off PS Plus.
Again?
Yeah, going off PS Plus, yeah. Tacoma, Tekken 7, and Thomas Was Alone. Thomas Was Alone.
I love Thomas Was Alone. It's such a great game.
It sounds like it's something like from Thomas the Tank Engine.
No, it's so good.
What's that
I
then?
don't look anything up in it. Just play it. It's so good.
Okay. Yeah, I've not heard of it.
No, I haven't.
It's not long. It's only like 3 hours, maybe.
3 hours?
Yeah, you can finish it in an evening.
Oh, fair enough.
It's not a full price game. Like it's a wee indie game. It's so good.
Fair enough. And then just one more small bit of news before I move on to the main bit of news, unless anybody else has got any more news, is...
I have news.
Oh, good, yes. I'll just do this one quickly because Jacob will love it.
Okay.
Sonic the Hedgehog could be getting a Fall Guys-like spin-off this year.
Nice.
That does sound quite fun.
Yeah.
So that'd be quite a good laugh. So it'd be brilliant. So sorry, Abby, go ahead.
So, has anyone heard of the new monitor that MSI showcased at CES 2024 in Las Vegas?
You mentioned this to me, didn't you? Yeah.
The cheating monitor.
Yes.
So, obviously, like AI is working its way into like literally everything. And this monitor has like built-in AI within it. So if you Google it, you'll see it mentioning League of Legends a lot. So what it basically does is it's got this feature called SkySight, which uses the mini-map to detect which directions enemies are approaching from, and it puts an icon on the screen to show where they're going to appear. So it basically shows you things that you actually can't see. It gives you a heads up on what is approaching. So if we think about that technology in the sense of something like Call of Duty or any other like competitive shooter games, it can potentially come up with something on screen to tell you where an enemy is based on sound or based on the minimap. And it's also pretty much impossible to detect because it's built in the monitor.
See, I both love and hate that.
Mm-hmm.
I love it because I'm quite crap at those games, and when you play people like Tony, I'm dead before I even realise, that I've got a gun in my hand. And also, I hate it because, well, it's cheating, isn't it?
It's cheating, yeah.
Yeah,
So
then that's
Yeah.
it.
Really don't want to be on the receiving end of that. At that stage, you're just going to rage quit out a lot of games.
Surely, though, that can't be. Why would they make something like that?
Because it will sell.
Well,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it boils down to. I'm not sure what justification they've given. Probably just to like enhance gaming experience or something like that.
Do you know how much they're selling those monitors for?
asking for a friend.
Because this technology, it's just like it can't be cheap. Something like that.
Asking for a friend.
Well, it's an OLED one, so it's not going to be cheap. I don't know if they've announced a price on it yet.
Got to be touching up to £1,000, surely.
But I would imagine that will be rather expensive. I think it's over £1,000, if that's the one that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I can't afford that.
So, unfortunately, Jacob, you will have to find other ways to cheat.
Hey.
He's got bad internet, so he lags, so that's cheating anyway.
Yeah,
Well, that's the opposite of cheating.
No. There's been so many days I want to throw the computer out the window, but then I realise how much it's going to cost me to replace the computer. It's like, nah, I shall just tolerate it.
Well, you've got quite a good computer.
I know.
Okay, we'll step over that one then.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's quite interesting. Frustrating, but also a good.
Oh yeah, bit of extra info from Tony in the chat there. You can train it on any game you want, and it will work on consoles as well. So
that's even worse.
It's a game changer.
It is, isn't it? Especially if it's over everything. If it is across all platforms. Because you just know as soon.
How do you stop that in competitive gaming?
Exactly. As soon as you get a 12-year-old on that, you're buggered. And it's true though, isn't it? Because they all like to bloody camp if you ever play them on something like that.
I'd imagine it'd be easy to control it at sort of major events where it's all in a studio in a controlled environment. Everybody's got the same equipment, but if you're doing it at home, that's going to be difficult to police.
Yeah, that's frustrating. Very frustrating. Good piece to talk about, but very frustrating, to be honest.
Mm.
And I've got mine on pre-order. So,
Right.
Next.
By the way, Jonathan in chat, yes, does have Danny Wallace in it. He's the narrator.
Oh, cool.
Really?
Yep.
Yep. Johnny says he'll get onto it one day. Well, how about instead of one day, just get onto it now?
Everyone's like that with games. How many people have a Steam library full of games that they've never even touched?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with you there. Yeah, I've got a massive Steam library, and I've probably paid about 12%.
Yeah.
That used to be one game you could look onto, and it would tell you those stats.
I know, but I don't want to because it'll make me cry. Because then I'll sort of think I need to start playing more.
Yeah. To be fair, like most of the ones I haven't played, it's all stuff I got from like a Humble Bundle or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just put them all in Steam and go, I'll play maybe 3 of these. I'm putting 45 games onto it.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But that's just because you probably got a few games in there which you think, oh, I really want those. They'll be great, and the others are just tag-alongs.
Yeah, I remember the bundle for Ukraine. I wanted Spyro in it, and think the cost of the bundle was the cost for Spyro. So I went, I'll just get it all. I think I played like Spyro and maybe like 2 other games out of it. But I got like 60 odd games, something like that out of that.
Jesus. Well, it could be worse. Look, Toaster's got 280 unplayed games. But how many have you played out of your whatever you've got in a general sense? So, any more news pieces before we roll on to our main piece?
Not from me.
I'm good.
Silence.
I'm good.
Okay, silence. Brilliant. So we'll move on to our main news piece. Is so sort of the Xbox type showcase, or is it the developer direct?
Yeah, Developer Direct 24 is what
Yeah.
it was actually called. But yeah, the Xbox showcase for what games they've got coming out this year,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. That's how I feel of it anyway. A showcase to me is pretty much what it is, but why ever they have to give it a fancy name, I have no clue. And just so everybody knows, Tony's played 267 games, so he's obviously a mental person, having played all of them. How many of them are you completed though, Tony? He's probably completed all of them. So on here, so they've announced a few games coming this year, and two of them actually have caught my eye, which obviously then we can talk about. One of them, which I think pretty much everybody will want to get on. So we've got, is it Aura History Untold?
Yeah,
That's the Civ-like game,
Civ
isn't
like
it?
game.
Yeah, so that's one of the
right.
That's one of the ones which I quite like, because Civilization I absolutely love and adore those. They're brilliant games, and I think this will be up my street. So I'll be quite looking forward. It says fall 2024, so I'm guessing that's autumn, isn't it? Fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank God for that. I'm not an idiot. We've got is it Avowed?
Yeah.
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 RPG.
Visions of Mana.
Yeah, I haven't played those games.
No, I haven't at all. Then that's not my cup of tea at all. That one. We've got Senua's Saga Hellblade 2.
I haven't played Hellblade 1, but I know it is supposed to be like amazing. So that's on my long list of games that I need to play, to be honest.
Is
Yeah,
the first one on Game Pass or?
That's a good question.
That's a very good
I've always
question.
wanted to play it. It's on Steam right now for literal buttons. I'll
Oh,
double check.
really?
Okay.
Okay.
I'll double check, but it's pretty sure it's 90% off. Yes, it's £2.50 right now.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
See, there you go.
So head on over to Steam and pick yourself up Hellblade.
Absolutely, get on it, and that'll give you a good stepping stone ready for number 2, which is coming out May 21st, which will be really good. And then the last one is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
The first one is on Game Pass.
The first one.
Oh, wait. Oh, Hellblade.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I'll play it on there then.
There you go, even
Yeah.
better. So if you've got Game Pass, go for it. Kieran's gone, yes, Game Pass is very good.
He said Hellblade is very good.
Sorry, I meant that. Okay, well, oh my God. I
That
just
was in
had
his
it.
mouth.
Oh, that's because we just said it and then I just had it in my mouth still. So well done. So what anticipation? What we all thinking? What are we all liking out of those ones that are coming?
I mean, that would be biased, but probably Avowed.
Yeah, Avowed is the main one that I'm interested in. I feel like it's going to scratch that Elder Scrolls itch while I wait for Elder Scrolls 6.
What in 2030?
Yes, I know it's a long wait.
We'll get to them.
I'm
Go on.
interested in Indiana Jones game. Partly because it's developed by Machine Games, so they did the rebooted Wolfenstein games. And
Okay.
it looks interesting, so I'm curious to see how that comes out.
I was going to say, so they've got a track record of you killing Nazis.
Yeah.
That explains those comments in the showcase. Or yeah, I was watching a video about it, and they were going on about what better developer to be killing, to have a game about killing Nazis, and I was like, I don't get it, but now I do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. No, I've only watched the trailer. I've not actually read anything about it, to be honest, so far. But that's not necessarily. I don't think that's got an actual release date. Is it? It's
I've
just
heard that
this
they've
year.
done it in first person as well to try and like distinguish it from Uncharted a
I
little
was going to
bit.
say, I'm very surprised it's first person.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure at first, but like I said, the combat that they've showcased does look quite amusing in first person.
Threw me off slightly because it was switching between third person and then to first person, so it's a mixture of both. But I think, like you said, the combat's in first person.
That'd be
Yeah, I think they're going to third person where it would be maybe a bit nauseating to be first person.
Yeah,
when
that makes
you're
sense.
swinging on
Yeah.
a whip, which makes sense.
They should do it in VR. I can imagine that with VR with my controller going with the whip, whoosh, accidentally hit something with my hand, or let go.
Oh,
of
especially if you get into the fist fights. Just punch the wall. So realistic. This guy's jaw really hurts. It's like punching a wall.
Right, so let's talk about Avowed a little bit then. Admittedly, I've not actually looked at much of this one. Obviously, Abby, you're quite excited because it's going to scratch your itch.
Yeah, I watched the clip from the showcase literally just before we started, just to refresh my memory. The main thing that actually interests me on that is the combat. So you can have like wands, you can have spells, you can have bow and arrow, you can have a sword, and what you can also do is have custom loadouts, and then you can switch between them at a push of a button. You can dual wield wands.
Akimbo.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, from a combat point of view, it looks really fun. And yeah, Obsidian, who are developing the game, have put out some really great games as well, like Outer Worlds, Pillars of Eternity, Fallout New Vegas, I think was one of them. So I've got my fingers crossed it's going to be a good one.
Well, the good thing you've got as well is it's Game Pass day one.
Even better.
So, the fact that you don't even have to, well, I say pay for it, you do pay for it in a sense, but you get it straight away on Game Pass. And that's, again, the thing that I love about Game Pass and what Microsoft do with it, to be honest, as well. So that'll be quite good then, looking into it. And then we've got Hellblade. So, Jacob, you're up for Hellblade to come out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I haven't played any of the Hellblade games, so but I got it. Well, as it's on Game Pass, I'll give the first one to go. And but like Abby said, there's been lots of praise for the game, so it definitely looks something to look forward to.
It looks stunning as well, like visually.
It does, yeah.
And that is what I like. I mean, I know we do a lot of retro gaming in a general sense, and we just, you do look at some of that. God, look at it, and then look how much it's all come on now. But we talk about, like, look at that monitor you mentioned earlier, Abby. Obviously that's going to be a whatever hertz bloody monitor in itself, into it as well, with 4K and whatnot. I'm not going to go into the depths of it because, to be honest, half of it's just numbers and letters to me. So I don't understand all of it. But
Yeah, graphically, games and just the tech in general has come a long way, hasn't it?
And that is the scary thing. Just on a side note of all of this, that's the scary thing of all of it, is you go back 10 years ago when we were playing. If I say Call of Duty back then, to them playing Call of Duty now, you look at the difference within those 10 years. It's absolutely insane.
I'd argue the games were better back then as well. Then, well, Call of Duty games anyway.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. I mean, my argument for things in that general sense at the moment is majority of games we seem to get are just a reboot from something else. Now it's like, we all wait for things like Resident Evil, new one to come out. We've played 8 of them, 9 of them, 8 of them. I don't know, however many of them. And to be honest, technically, they're all the same sort of game, just a bit of a different story. But anyway, that's on a side note, that one. So we'll come off there. But yeah, Hellblade 2, and again, Jacob, great thing is Game Pass day one.
Even better.
Are all of these Game Pass day one by any chance?
No, they're not.
Ah.
I know. I was hoping somebody will say that. It's only just because I've turned to another one and it's not actually on Game Pass. And I think that's the one that, well, it doesn't interest me at all. That Visions of Mana.
Ah, the Mana one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good
yeah, that's actually going to be a purchase game, that one. So that's not going to be. But I'm just not into any of those type of games at all. Anyway, I remember playing one before. I can't Sword Art Online or something like that. I think it was.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I played, and I got 3
Mm-hmm.
hours in, and I think I must have played about 10 minutes of it because it was that much of bloody cutscenes. I felt like I've been watching a TV series for a couple of hours, and I was a bit like, when do you actually play the game? I'm bored, so I just never bothered with it then, to be honest. So obviously, if that scratches your itch and what you want in those type of games, obviously there's that coming, but unfortunately, it's not going to be part of Game Pass in itself.
Okay. I can live with that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'm like that. So, Ara History Untold or Ara, I can never pronounce them properly. So pardon my vocabulary with it all. So that's going to be coming out, as Abby explained. It's like a Civilization type thing. It's a turn-based game, and they're my type of things. That's what I do quite like in that sense. So I do look forward to that one coming out to have a play with. To be honest, and again, that's also on Game Pass day one as well. So it seems to be all the ones that we like at the moment all on Game Pass day one. So it really helps in our sense of what we like.
Well, yeah, times are hard, so it helps not to have to pay 70 quid plus a pop for a game.
Yeah.
Precisely, the £70 a year, it's worth it. You know, you're paying all that. You pay that one lump sum a year, and you do get some amazing games with it.
Anyone would think we're sponsored by Game Pass. If
No.
only.
Yeah.
Just wait for next week's thumbnail. No, better not do that, just in case we get sued. But it is though. It's brilliant. I mean, for me personally, that trumps PS Plus. For me, because that's it. You know, it's just. I think you get a better quota of games on Ultimate, and also I think that there's only Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate, I believe, but with PlayStation, isn't there PS Plus? You got PS Now. Have you got another thing as well now for PlayStation?
I think there's like 3 tiers of it, or at least there used to be. I've got a feeling they've sort of shaken up how they do it, but. I'm not sure to hand what that is.
I'm sure maybe Johnny or Kieran can answer that one for us. I think their PlayStation, they've got Well, I know Johnny probably has. I'm not sure about Kieran, but you know, if you let us know, that would be handy. I say I'm not 100% sure at all with that one, but that's what I mean. I think because there's too many different levels of PlayStation. I think it's a little bit of a rip off in what I think of it. But with Game Pass, I think it just works. It's easy, and plus the best thing for me, well, probably for all of us here, it's cross-platform. So you know, I've got Ultimate for the Xbox and for the PC, and to play on the cloud, it's great. Pick up where
Does PlayStation? PlayStation's only for the consoles, is it? So
it is, yes.
Yeah, exactly, and that's it. You see, so. Oh, here we go.
There's Essential, Extra, and Premium. Yeah, so I thought there were 3. So I think I've got one of the cheaper ones, but I think that the monthly games that you get on PlayStation are good, and I think they're yours to keep. Well, I suppose that's up for debate nowadays, isn't it?
I think they're yours to keep as long as you've got PS Plus, haven't you? As soon as you get rid of it, they go. I believe. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, that's the thing, because on my PlayStation 4, I've recently stopped PS Plus because I just don't go on it, and I had loads of games on there. Now lost him completely. They've all gone. So, and that's just part of it. Here we go. We've got Johnny. Last time I used my PS5 was to watch. What's that?
Memoirs of a Geisha.
Memoirs of a
It's
Geisha.
a film. It's a good film.
I've never watched it, I don't think. I played Fortnite, the last game. I hit it up, so really glad to have spent £500 on that. Well done, Johnny. Well done. You ought to sell it for £1,000. You know, you'll get your money back plus some. Kieran, I'm a big fan of Game Pass. But PS Plus is pretty good now. Only real difference is that you don't get the first party games on day release. See, and then that's where and that's where I think Game Pass to me, not to everybody else, beats it. What else we got from Kieran? We got not worth paying for premium though. Extra is the best deal. Oh,
Okay, so that's the middle tier one.
that sounds like a good conversation piece there. We'll come back to that in a bit, and we'll come back to some more of those. So just to finishing on then, so Indiana Jones, as Jacob was sort of mentioning, so first person style view in this, so that'll be interesting then to actually see that. Is it going to be a takeoff of Uncharted? Because technically, is it the same thing except a man
Well,
with a
technically,
whip?
Uncharted is a rip-off of Indiana Jones.
Well, in game form, it is, yeah. In game form.
So where does Tomb Raider fall into
I was
this?
going to say, technically, it's a rip-off of Tomb Raider, which is a rip-off of Indiana Jones.
Oh, that's very true. Yeah. Well, I suppose that I'm sure they've made an effort to make it different, so everyone's not going, "Oh, this is just Uncharted."
Yeah, I remember people getting uppity when the Tomb Raider reboot came out. It was like, "Oh, there's lots of stuff that's the same from Uncharted." It's like, well, hold on. Uncharted stole a lot from Tomb Raider. They stole from each other. It's fine.
Yeah.
There's snippets from each other. There's snippets from them there. So, but again, that's coming to Game Pass on day one, which would be good. So there's only one game not coming to Game Pass on day one, which, if I'm honest, I'm pretty sure none of us really will be bothered about.
No.
Exactly. We're really not fussed about that one at all. So, never mind. So, that's pretty much a bit about that Developers Direct. So, got some really good games coming out on Game Pass this year, and that's only what's just been announced now. Pretty sure there's going to be more actually being announced throughout the year as we do go.
No Fable announcement either. So I've interpreted that as it is not coming this year.
So please, drown your sorrow somewhere with no Fable. Also, just so Jacob knows, no Splinter Cell either.
There'll never be Splinter Cell. Yeah, you'll never get it then. It'll be on subscription and they'll take it off you.
It's like, what's the other one? Beyond Good and Evil 2. That's never going to come out.
So you say no Fable announcement. You never know. Could be one later in the year.
It won't be coming this year, I don't think, though. I think we'll see that next year.
But I think you'll have an announcement later on in the year for Fable.
Yeah, I would like to just see an actual gameplay trailer.
Yeah, something.
Right, that other one does not count.
Wasn't that just a teaser trailer or something?
Yeah, it was just to basically remind everyone they're still making it, I think.
Yeah. Remember Fable? Well, it's still here. Tease.
And here's Richard Ayoade.
Oh, brilliant. So before we move on again, just going to take it back slightly. So what is the better bit on PS Plus for you to actually get? It sounds like a good small little conversation piece before we move on to our final part that we want to talk about. So Kieran is saying extra is the best deal. Is he right? What the people think. Let us know if you've got it. It'd be interesting. Obviously, I think there's only Abby who's got a PlayStation. So argue amongst yourself, Abby, and see what you think.
Well, I have just brought up the 3 tiers because I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
So Essential, which is the cheapest one, is £60 for the year. So multiplayer, you have to have it for that. So monthly games, online multiplayer, and exclusive discounts. So I think the quality of that very much depends on the quality of the games that you're getting every month.
Yeah.
And I think it is a bit of a mixed bag from what I remember. So Extra, which is the one that Kieran recommends. So get all the benefits of the Essential plan, as well as access to the game catalogue featuring hundreds of games from genre-defining blockbusters to indies with new titles added regularly. So I think this is the one that I've got now, and this is £100 for the year. And I mostly use it to play PS3 games. So I played a little bit of Infamous, if you remember that.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I also recently played God of War 3. And I think it's all done via the cloud as well. So you don't have to download the game, you just play it. It's like cloud gaming.
Oh, that's good then.
And I do also like with PS Plus, you can like upload your save for like any game, upload it into the cloud, and then download it onto another console.
Yeah.
So like we've got like a shared PS5 in the living room, and I've got my own one upstairs. So if I want to switch between those two consoles, that feature's quite handy.
You are right. Abby is rich.
Yeah, I did not mean to like humble brag then. But,
Oh no, it's
like,
not at all. It's just it's a good little Mickey takey point for us to do.
Yeah, it is handy though. Like, and to be fair, it does say cloud storage is one of the selling points for the PS Plus Extra. Premium. That's where you get the cloud streaming. So I must have been streaming games on Tony's subscription.
Look, he's
so
not
you've also
listening.
got monthly games, share play, whatever that is, game trials. So I think that's where you can play a game for a bit before you commit to buying it. Ubisoft Plus Classics. I'm not sure what we'd have in there. So yeah, like I think it sounds stupid, but it's good if you've got a PlayStation or if you play PlayStation a lot. Otherwise, like overall, I think Game Pass is better because you get the console and the PC option. Whereas obviously with PS Plus, you're locked in to the PlayStation.
Locked into
And
one.
I don't like how you have to have a subscription just to play online with your friends.
No, that's an annoying
Like
thing.
that.
Yeah, I don't like that because that's basically forcing your hand that you have to have this to play with your mates. So
And I shop at Aldi, actually. Thank you, Johnny.
I saw that.
Yeah, this was from a conversation earlier on that we had because I think Johnny took the mickey out of me because I shop at Tesco.
Oh yeah, Noisy Snacks has got a good point as well. Don't forget, with PS Plus, there's a laughably piss-poor movie service with lots of sequels to movie that you didn't know had sequels. There you go.
That sounds quite interesting. That sounds like a reboot from our shit horror night that we keep having.
Oh God, yeah.
do you know what? Right, that's our next type of thing. Then I think instead of shit horror night, it's of shit sequels we didn't even know that had sequels.
Just lose the will to live.
Absolutely, is sometimes. So right, we'll move on to our last part. So appreciate it's coming to the end of January now. We weren't anywhere last year, as in we didn't do a podcast. So, but we did play lots of games, lots of good, lots of bad, and ones that even came out last year. So this is our little snippet of our most disappointed games of 23 and our best game of 23. So we've not done a joint thing. We've not all gone, oh, look, we like this or we like that. No, what we've done is, so Pete, Abby, Jacob, myself, we've all got our own separate most disappointed and our best game. So we're just going to take it in turns, do it, have a quick chat and see what we think. So I'm going to jump it straight towards Jacob. We're going to do first all the most disappointed games. So Jacob, let's have a listen to your most disappointed game of 2023.
Right, so it's disappointing just because it just didn't appeal to me that much. It's not a bad game. It played very well. It just didn't appeal to me that much, and that was BattleBit.
Oh yeah.
I played. Well, Abby knows. I played 1-2 sessions, and it was okay, but
I think we all refunded it.
yeah, I refunded it, and it's just that I knew I wasn't going to come back to it or put any serious time into it or do sessions with other people, and I just didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would, and ended up getting a refund for it.
Sounds shit.
I'm sure you played it as well.
I don't think I did,
Yeah.
to be honest. I
It
I
looks
remember,
like Roblox.
Yeah, no, I remember you guys talking about it. I
Oh,
don't think
okay.
I ever played it. No.
Okay.
I
Oh,
think
yeah,
I
it's
think
a-
you talking about it was bad enough for me to not get it.
No, it's essentially a cross between, like Abby said, Roblox and Battlefield, but it had some cool features in it. But like I said, it just wasn't enough to keep me
I liked
engaged.
how when you were downed or like when you died, it would turn on like your mic so you could hear people
Yeah.
like as they were dying. So you could usually just hear people going, "Oh, fuck's sake!"
Well, I get some people just screaming for medic, but
Oh yeah.
Jesus. Well, that sounded like a bad game. I never played it, but it did sound like a bad game.
well, I don't know if it is a bad game. I just, like I said, it just didn't appeal to me.
And fair enough. And that's obviously why it's your most disappointed. Move on, Pete. You're most disappointed.
I actually thought that it was okay. Just to point that out. Just
I mean,
okay.
it's fine. I don't think it's bad. It just like there's other things I'd rather have played.
It filled the itch for Battlefield. When Battlefield
Yeah.
just not been great.
It filled an itch for Battlefield. do you know what? That should be a good little slogan. It filled an itch. Just that in general. Why did you?
I mean, it's not the worst idea.
Well, no. I just like it. It's just because it's the second time we've used it tonight, so it's it just seems to be becoming part of a slogan now. I think we're going to put.
Trying to cut you off, but have you seen the Steam numbers today for Power World?
No.
Yeah, that's hugely popular, isn't it?
1.2 million.
Well, somebody's got to watch it, I suppose, or play it.
Wow.
Sorry.
I'm stunned. Well done.
Obviously,
It's not my type of game, but wow, well done.
Obviously, somebody likes it. Just because you don't.
Apparently, 1.2 million. At least likes it.
Yeah.
What is it? I don't really know.
It's a survival game with Pokemon.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
That's what took me off. Like I had seen a bunch of news for it. I was like, "Oh, this could be good." And I put it on a stream and seen somebody hitting a tree to get wood. I was like, "Nope, I'm done. Go wait."
Somebody hit a tree to get wood.
Yeah, that's what you do in those games. You hit
Oh.
trees.
Yeah.
Hit tree and get wood.
I mean, where else you getting wood? To be fair.
Like in the forest.
What are you?
Say that.
Yeah. I get that. Just reminds me of Animal Crossing.
Well, it's no. It's just not.
It's much
No.
more violent than
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
However, back to last year's games. My most disappointing game from last year. It's probably one of a lot of people's most disappointed. Like Abby, I'm a big Bethesda game fan, so I wasn't looking forward to it, and then they pulled me back in with a couple of trailers, and then I finally got to play it, and yeah, all my worst fears had been confirmed about Starfield. It was not fun. I did not enjoy it. I tried so much. Just playing that game for doing the first mission, getting out into the world, doing the first dungeon in the game, and getting maybe a third of the way through it, and then my inventory being full. I was like, "What are we doing? Why is this bad?"
And why did it take them so long to make something so there?
I don't know, because it's still on a stupid engine. And there's so much limitation. You still can't go up a ladder in that engine. There's no vehicles in it, because you can't really do vehicles. Like, the only vehicle they've ever had in it was a horse, and if you've ever rode a horse in Skyrim, you know the problems.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good if you want to climb a mountain. The horse is amazing for that.
Oh, it is. Yeah, strafing up all the way up it.
Yeah. It climbs it like a mountain goat, but not a horse. But yeah, I wanted to like it, but I just couldn't. It was so disappointing for me.
Never
the
played
quest
it.
just wasn't interesting. The characters had a weird look to them.
I must admit,
Like-
never played it. It never interested me from the get go, so I just never. Just weren't bothered.
Well, funny enough, speaking of Game Pass, it's on that.
Oh, I do know, but
Yeah.
I was very tempted because I was thinking when everybody talks about them, I think, oh, I'll give it a go, and I thought, no, because I just don't like that type of game. So why would I bother?
Mm.
Yeah.
I used to. Well, I put a lot of time in Fallout 3, and when Fallout 4 came out, I just don't have the time to commit to it, and I saw that similar to Starfield. Just it's a big game. There's going to be a lot to do in it, and I don't really think I'm going to commit to it.
No. I wasn't as much big a fan of Fallout 4 as well. I say that I'm looking through my Steam to find out how much I played of that game. I'm fairly certain it was a solid 80 odd hours.
Jesus.
Wow.
103 hours I played the Fallout 4. And didn't really enjoy it. Like, that's how far into Bethesda games I am normally. I can put 100 hours into a game of theirs that I don't like.
And that's some commitment.
Yeah, I don't
At
like.
least you're
maybe-
definitely sure that you didn't like it.
Yeah,
for that
yeah.
long.
I don't like is maybe a bit strong. It didn't grab me. It didn't grab
Yeah.
me the same
I
as
feel that way
Skyrim.
about the Fallout games.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I love New Vegas. New Vegas is so good. I mean, I really enjoyed 3 as well.
I feel quite bad for only having 3 hours of Sword Art Online now. You committed to something quite shit. for quite
Yeah, but like that to be fair, that's like a game that you didn't really enjoy. Like this is from a studio in a game genre that I like. Like if you'd given me like a racing game, then I would have I would have been lucky to take 3 hours into a racing game. They're not my thing.
No, which is fair enough. Yeah, which obviously I'm very much the opposite. I like just live on that. So
Yeah, I
But
know
no.
you and Jake are both really into racing games,
yeah,
aren't you?
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh no, that's brilliant.
But
Smashing.
yeah. Oh, God, I really want Elder Scrolls 6 to be good. I just don't trust them.
So thanks for that, Pete. Move on. We'll go to Abby. Right, disappointed.
So I think this is a bit of a hot take because this game was also my best game of last year, and then I relegated it to most disappointing. But I definitely have mixed feelings over Jedi Survivor. So
Oh, I didn't expect that.
No, I didn't
It's-
either.
no, and I do love the game, but there was one element of it that I wanted less of from the first game, and they dialed up to 1,000 in the second game, which was platforming.
Oh really?
Yeah. There is so much platforming in that game. So, like, I think it gets progressively worse the further into the game you get with each planet that you unlock, to the point where you were spending so much time just to try to get to somewhere to unlock the shortcut. And it felt like that they were almost using it to pad out the game a bit.
Well, knowing
So-
people that'll just sort of not give up, but it wouldn't be.
Yeah, honestly, it wasn't fun. Like, I'd have preferred to have seen like more opportunities for combat or things like that. Whereas there were times when it just felt like you were constant platforming, having to do time-based jumps, very precise as well. And yeah, I just didn't enjoy it. And like certain parts of the game, I feel like it took away a lot of the like flow of the game as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just felt like completely unnecessary. The game probably would have been quite a bit shorter without it all, and it would have been better for it. But that being said, I do love the game, but it just got so frustrating at times that it did take away some of the enjoyment of it for me. Also, the difficulty level felt quite inconsistent as well. So I did a playthrough on like not the hardest difficulty, but one down from that, which wasn't too bad. And then when you crank it up to the hardest difficulty, you can get to like a certain boss within the halfway point, and it's just impossible. So there's times when it just feels inconsistent. Like you can absolutely blitz through a certain area and then you'll just get absolutely annihilated. So I think that boss I still haven't got past either on the hardest difficulty. So
Bloody hell.
Wow.
yeah, it like a Fallen Order was hard, but Survivor just felt inconsistently hard, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm very much in two minds over Jedi Survivor. I absolutely loved the game, but there's certain parts of it that just really pissed me off.
That's a pity because you were really looking forward to that as well, quite anticipating.
Yeah, and like I said, I did enjoy it, but like I said, just too much platforming for me, and that's what really disappointed me about it.
Oh, that's good.
I've only just started Jedi Survivors, and I do remember from Fallen Order, I absolutely hated the sliding physics because it just felt so heavy trying to control Calabouts, and I don't mind the platforming, but I can understand where you were coming from with it.
It is a very good game. Like I said, it was just that one element of it that I really hoped to not see more of, and they just made it so much worse.
And that sucks.
So yeah, I was torn, but like it's still up there for one of my best games of last year. But yeah, that was just a big sticking point on it for me.
Oh, well, thanks for that.
That's my hot take.
Yeah, no, and that is a surprising one actually. That is because as much as I knew that you liked it, I did not expect to hear it as one of your.
See, Noisy Snacks agrees. Jedi Survivor just felt so wafer thin once you strayed away from the main plot. So, unnecessary padding.
Yeah, they worked on more of the difficulty for people, thinking they'll do that. So, and that'll take them a while, which is pity. So, oh well, thank you for that one. Thank you for that one. So, I move on to my disappointed. So, I didn't play too many games that came out last year, but one of them it was a Game Pass day one, and it was broken on day one, so that probably narrows it down.
It doesn't really.
I can maybe guess.
I think I know what it is.
So, Redfall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know when I saw that advertised, I thought, oh, this looks brilliant. You know, I want to be a vampire. Or kill a vampire. I thought this looks brilliant. Oh, it'd be so good to play. And I was excited. I sort of pre-downloaded it, got it, went on it, and I think for the first 2 nights didn't even get on it. It wouldn't let me. I just could not get on anything. And then I think about a week later, I then tried again, and I managed to play it. Well, I say play it, it was just broken. Anything, whenever I was running, I run through walls by accident. I don't know how that happened. I couldn't seem to. Now, whether I was really crap, now I'm not the greatest at shooting and whatnot anyway, but whether I just couldn't kill people because I was crap, I just don't know. I just couldn't do it. I really couldn't. So, saying it's my most disappointed game, even though I hardly played it, because after that I did just literally delete it and think, no, I really can't be arsed with this now because it's annoying me. It was my most disappointed game because it was our most anticipated game that I wanted to play.
That's always makes it even worse, doesn't it?
And that's it. And my only anticipation, because admittedly I'd never heard any of it before until it was on the showcase, and I thought, oh, yep, I really want to play that. I'm actually looking forward to that. Hence why I pre-downloaded it and got it ready and it got on it. But when I couldn't actually really play it at all, it just got to that point of I just won't bother. So it just went from anticipated to disappointed straight away. Even like, I mean, to be honest, Payday 3 was very similar for me in that respect. I managed to play that and it worked eventually, sort of, but I could do things. Hence why Redfall's just beaten that to it on the worst. But that's it. I mean, I couldn't tell you much about the game because I hardly got to play it because I just really, really couldn't be bothered. Really couldn't be bothered at all. So
you didn't miss out much.
Oh, well, there you go then. Didn't miss much. So that was it really in my sense. Yeah, Redfall, ready. I mean, my second most anticipated game is Alan Wake 2, but I've not played that yet. So that'll be this year's thing. So Anyway, so that was mine. Redfall. Hardly got to play it. Disappointed because I was overly anticipated of it. So never mind. So we'll move on next to our best game of 2023. And I'm going to go to Pete first and see what his favourite one from last year was.
Oh, I wonder what it could be.
I wonder.
$310.
Fuck me.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's the same as everybody's game of the year for last year. From every major gaming website, it's Baldur's Gate 3. I've been looking forward to this game since 2002, something like that. Oh God, when did Baldur's Gate 2 come out? Something like there. I remember playing that on my PC. Not getting very far in it, but really, really enjoying the atmosphere in the game. When this was announced in 2019, I think.
Jesus, really?
2019. I knew it was in good hands because it was with Larian, and they had made Divinity 1 and 2, which are stellar games as well. But I wasn't prepared for just how much of a jump forward this would be. It is absolutely incredible. It's not only about my game of the year last year. It's easily the best game I played in a decade. It's probably the best game I played since Mass Effect 2, easily. And that came out in 2010, so that's how big a praise it have for us. All the characters are so well realised. Even one-note characters. Like there's a cat in the game you can talk to called His Majesty, who honestly has more charm in him than any NPC you come across in Starfield. And he's a cat.
He's a cat.
Yeah, I don't know how, like, because you can speak, because of the indie game, you can do outrageous things. One of the things is you can talk with animals, so you can speak to a cat.
Why wouldn't you?
I mean, yeah, and
Can't you
as
have
can
space with a bear as well?
I mean, technically, yes. It's a human in bear form, but yes, you can sleep with a bear. And a devil. And a vampire. And a spoiler.
Okay.
I can't say the last one but yes, it's the freakiest of the bunch.
Okay.
They know their audience. They know their audience well. The audience is a horny audience.
So I say that again. Their audience is a what?
It's a horny audience.
Well,
you can't prove me wrong,
well,
because I'm not wrong.
I'm not. I know. We just all got an insight to you, Pete. That's all. You're a horny bastard.
No comment.
All right. Well, to be honest, I mean, for us that know you and that see you play it quite often, that's probably an obvious one to us. But to everybody else, I think it just shows you how good that sort of that type of that game is. Because when was number two out?
I think it was either 2001, maybe.
Oh wow.
Jesus, wow. See,
It was a BioWare game, to put that in perspective.
And the fact that it's one of these that obviously they've announced, and they've taken their time, them releasing it, and funnily enough, it wasn't broken when he played it.
Yeah. Well, that was also another thing. 2000, by the way, Baldur's Gate 2 came out.
Jesus.
They spent the past 3 years in early access, so they were able basically to have the game out and have players bat on their heads against it, so they could find a lot of the bugs that other studios just can't do. Also, the game is self-funded, so they could do all the crazy things. Like in the past 6 months, like one of the big criticisms of the game was the ending. It's a bit abrupt, and there isn't a very long denouement on. Like for as long as the game is, you're just like, oh, that's the end. You get like maybe 2 minutes of an ending. So they spent the past 6 months increasing the ending. Now there's a full epilogue to it.
So,
Like, no other game studio is able to do that. If your game's not pretty much self-funded, if you're not making it, if you're relying on a publisher's going to look at that and go, no. And it's for free. You could be like, well, that's 6 months you could be using making more DLC for the game.
Yeah, and that's the biggest problem. But that's a different conversation. That one, isn't it? There, but no, that's brilliant. There you go. That's Pete's favourite game, Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3, lovely. Abby.
Right, so originally I had Jedi Survivor as my best game, and then I started thinking about all the reasons that it annoys me. So it has been relegated. So I am not very good at playing games that come out the year they're released. So my best game I haven't actually finished yet. So it's technically still a contender, but so far it has been my favourite game released in 2023, which is Alan Wake 2.
Ooh.
So obviously I know some of you guys are really keen to play it, so I won't spoil anything. But I would say that it's very much a successor to 1, despite the fact 1 came out like 13 years ago. They've sort of taken what made that first one great and really improved upon it, especially gameplay wise, because I did struggle with the gameplay on the 360. And it's just some of the ways that it's put together is very innovative as well. I really don't want to spoil anything, but it's unlike any other game that was released last year, I would say. And it's a beautiful game as well. Story is amazing, and yeah, the way they intertwine certain elements within the game, like I said, I don't think I've really seen before, or not seen very often. And I know that's really vague, but I don't want to spoil anything.
No, I've been watching you play it, and well, it does make me want to get it more and more. But for me, it's, can you warrant buying that now? For me, no, not really. But I do want it.
I think an original sticking point for me is that it's digital only, and they kind of justified it by saying that they've made the game cheaper than it would be. Like, it's like a AAA title essentially, but it doesn't have the price.
Yeah.
And it is worth the money, I would say. So it's a fantastic game. It's optimized pretty well. So, like, certainly so far, I'd say it's worth the money. And everyone that I've spoken to that says that they love the game, everyone that I've spoken to that's finished the game says that they love it, and it's easily one of their games of the year. So I have every faith that it will still be my best game of 2023 when I eventually finish it.
Makes me want it all the more.
I have it on Epic already. I've not played it because I'm trying to finish the Alan Wake DLC for Control.
Oh. Okay.
It wasn't called Alan Wake DLC. It's called the AWE. But I think you know what AW stands for. Stands for Alan Wake baby.
I like it. Oh no, that's brilliant. So thanks for that. That's a definite for me. Is I want that game, and I will get it. I will. So brilliant. Thank you, Jacob.
Last year had quite a few good games, and sort of 2 survival horror games got remade last year, and my favourite out of the 2 of them was Dead Space.
Oh.
And I enjoyed the first Dead Space, really good game. Second one built upon that. The first one wasn't perfect; it had its issues, especially the 0G flight. It was just clunky to fly about. So they improved it in the second one, and then the Dead Space 3 just killed the franchise. It was such a bad game, and I sort of played that around the same time as the Dead Space remake, and it's unreal how the two games were different. So Dead Space 3 went more action horror, and it just wasn't a good game. It was just frustrating. But they remade the first game 10 years later, and went back to it, and it built upon what was great of the first game, fixed the what wasn't good, and it's just a fantastic game. If you're really into survival horror, I recommend the remake of Dead Space. It is really good, and it looks. The monsters are horrible, but the graphics it just looks really good. I'd recommend it to anybody.
I've always liked Dead Space, to be honest, and I bet I bet sort of remastering the sense into it.
Yeah,
I bet that is really good, and I will play it because I'm pretty sure it will come. Yeah, it is me being cheap. I'm pretty sure it will come to Game Pass at some point. The remastered version.
I think it's on Game Pass.
Is the
yes,
remastered
with
version on
what's
it?
it,
Is it?
EA Play.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, so EA Play you can get through Game Pass, can't you?
Oh no,
Yeah.
I didn't know it was on there. That I thought it was just the old one. That was on the original one, not the remastered. So I'll be getting that then. That sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. If you're into survival horror, it is a really good franchise. It shouldn't have ended on the third one, and because I'm now hopeful that they'll remake the second one, and it gives a fresh life to Dead Space.
No, I do.
Insanely faithful to the first game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the first. Majority of the first games are really good, to be honest. When you do, I say the majority, not all of them, but yeah, it is really good first one, and yeah, a survival horror is right. Things like that are brilliant. No, bro. Thank you for that, Jacob. Brilliant. So just move on to mine just to finish us off. So I was cut between two. Again, very similar to Abby is I haven't played a lot of the games in that year. You play a lot of other ones in that sense. And because I'm a bit of a cheapskate, I'm not necessarily bought many games at all from the year that they come out. But there were two that I did play. One of them's just trumped the other one in my eyes, mainly because one of them's a remaster and the other one isn't. So my favourite is one that I still haven't finished either. It has annoyed me, but I still love it. But I just need to take a break from it before I do break something in a general sense playing it. And that is Amnesia: The Bunker.
Oh yeah.
ah,
Do absolutely fantastic game. If you've never played the Amnesia series, get them. They are on Game Pass, all of them, which is brilliant. So that's worth getting them. It's such a good game. Just sneaking around a war bunker. You get sort of taken in after sort of being exploded on the battlefield. And then it's sort of like, well, nobody's here. Where is everyone? And basically, there's this sort of monster that's going around killing people, and you have to be silent, walk around, you get away from it, and that's sort of it. Really, you're trying to escape the bunker, and obviously to do that, you've got to get around it and unlock certain parts. So you have to be a bit sneaky. Now, with me, sneakiness isn't my forte.
No, I'm with you on that.
Yep, I just like a shotgun, go shoot the motherfuckers. But unfortunately, you can't really do that on this because as soon as you make serious noise, he's gonna have you. He's coming for you. And the only real way to sort of scare him off is with a flare. But unfortunately, I've ran out, so I'm struggling. So I'm having to proper sneak around at the moment. So I'm about 3/4 of the way through it. So I will finish it. I will do it. I'm on it. But I think it's absolutely fantastic. And to be honest, I haven't played the other ones in such a long time that as soon as I've done this one, I'm just going to go backwards with it, I think.
Those games do hold up, I think.
I do as well, because they're not made of, you know, oh, it has to be like this, it has to be all singing and all dancing. It's still not bad graphics, don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but it's not, you know, it has to be, you know, all full whatever it is, 16.
It's about the atmosphere, isn't it?
Exactly, and especially half the time when I'm winding up my bloody torch walking round because I forgot fuel to put in the generator. So, but if you haven't played it, go again. Again, it is basically another survival horror game, similar to, I won't say similar to Deep Space because that's not, but it's same sort of genre, but fantastic game. And that mildly beat Resident Evil 4, basically, because Resident Evil.
Yeah, that was a honourable mention on my list.
Oh, there you go. 2 honourable mentions for Resident Evil 4. You know, they've done it just.
It was on my list as well.
Oh, there we go. All 4 of us got there. But they've done brilliant with. To be honest, I think they've done brilliant with all the Resident Evils they've been remastering. I mean, I think everybody here knows who we're with is Resident Evil 7, the Biohazard. That sort of regenerated my love for the series of it. Actually, I think Abby got that for my birthday a couple of years ago, and then I think Jacob actually got Resident Evil 8 for my birthday last year. So
Oh, nice.
I know, there you go. I'm spoiled.
Both excellent games.
Yeah. So who's buying me the next one? Pete? No, I'm joking. But I think that all of them, but Resident Evil 4, they've done really well with. It looks good, it plays well, and again, for me, just because it was a remaster is the only reason it's fallen slightly behind Amnesia for my one. But
Resident Evil had the same problem with Dead Space, that they were both survival horror games and they were really good, and then they tried to shift it towards action horror, and it's not what people wanted. So that's when, especially Resident Evil 7, it shifted back to survival horror and made it so much better.
Exactly. 5 and 6 for me, 5 for me doesn't exist. Personally, I don't know about anybody else.
5 is fine. 6 was horrible.
Oh, you didn't like Chris and Shaver?
No.
Why didn't you like shitty game of Shaver in it?
Not getting into it. I'm not talking about it.
That's the next one to remaster, isn't it?
I know.
Oh, Veronica first.
I know. I might
They have to
still
do
play
Veronica. They have to.
I had his code Veronica.
Yeah. That's probably a better contender than 5 for next remaster.
I mean, they will remake 5 and then they'll remake 6.
Yeah.
And by that time, it'll be fine for them to remake 7, so they'll do that.
Yes, a never-ending loop.
Well, I'm surprised they've not got number 9 coming out this year.
Yeah, I'm curious as to what they do next.
But I did like the DLC though for 8.
Yeah, we did.
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
Don't spoil it for Pete then.
No, I won't talk. I did stream it for a while, Pete.
No, I didn't watch it.
Oh, thank you.
Not for any nasty reasons, because you were streaming that game.
No, sod you. I just won't. If you don't want to watch me.
I'm pretty sure. Well, I can't remember. It was too long ago. But I'm pretty sure I turned the stream on and then just muted it and tabbed off.
Love you too.
Just to give you the view.
Yeah, exactly.
No, fair enough.
Yeah,
No.
I did that today with Abby because I know she's playing Halloween week too. So.
Yeah, I had like consistently like 6 people viewing and no one chatting. So I was like, well, I saw the lurkers here today.
I think it was just me really to start with.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
you were chatting to me. And then like I was muted for at least 5 minutes and nobody noticed. And I was like, oh shit.
I must admit, I was making dinner then, probably.
Yeah, I think you disappeared for a bit. And I eventually noticed that I was just talking to myself. So good luck to Stevie, my editor, when it comes to doing that episode.
Sorry, I was too busy trying to kill Jacob in D&D.
That's fair. Completely fair.
Yeah. You warranted for that one, but no.
Did a good job of it.
Oh, good lad.
He did.
Good. Die, Jacob, die.
It should be just retitled A Million Ways to Kill Mac.
You are playing the tank, so
Yeah, he's taken a lot of damage.
yeah. Like, so when I'm hitting you, it's like, well, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. But eventually I've started doing a lot of damage. It's like, oh dear.
Yep.
Sounds fun. Sounds fun. Right, brilliant, lovely. So we've now come to an end of our podcast. It is a little bit longer. I think it's just because we're getting into the swing of everything. It has been quite a bit of time. So they won't be normally an hour and a half long. We'll probably look more towards an hour as we do get going back into it. But we appreciate people coming, listening. If you've been coming and going, no problem. If you've been chatting to us, brilliant. This is going to be more of a fortnightly request now that we're going to do instead of a weekly or a monthly. See how we get on. Hopefully, join in with the chat. We can get talking about things. Feel free to ask questions, bring up subjects. It's not a problem at all. Anybody wants to rewatch, or if you've got any friends that might think, oh, I know they might like this, pointing them over to our YouTube channel, JumpCrouch, get them listening, and then obviously every fortnight, be Sunday, 7:30ish time, we'll be jumping on board again and doing another one. So thank you very much from myself. Everybody else say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You think?
There's always one in there.
Yeah, always got to be difficult.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.